Hey everybody, welcome to my solo playthrough of Empires of the North, which is a new game set in the Imperial Settlers universe. It uses some of the same mechanics of mechanisms, the way you want to call it, from Imperial Settlers, but it is a different game. Compare it to those different versions of Pandemic, for example. They have used the same base idea, but they can play really different. So I'm going to play the solo game, which is helped by the solo booklet that comes in the game, which adds some scenarios to play solo. In each scenario you have some changes for the game. You have a number of points you need to reach to win that scenario. And I already played the first one, which is on the left page there, but today I'm going to play Outpost, which is the second one. I haven't played this yet and had some setup changes. I had to put cards underneath, well, not underneath this, but I have cards placed here from a different faction deck, and I have to place them face down as building sites, and I can only build action cards on top of building sites. Now I can get more building sites if I want to, but I'm limited with. Also, cool thing is that I can build over existing action buildings or action locations with another location, and I have to spend a wood to do so, an extra wood to do so. And buildings that are covered with new buildings are worth 2 points at the end of the game each. Each building that's on top of the stack is worth 1 point only. Also, very important, each worker that is on the outpost here, which is a separate action space on the in the booklet here, is worth 1 point at the end of the game. Now there's also a scenario events that come with the game, with this scenario. Each scenario has those. I will show that to you very soon. Alright, also each time I do the explore action, which I will probably do one time at least, I can spend an axe to gain an additional building site. So I draw a new card and place a new building site on the table, which might be very important. So I'm going to place this somewhere. Let's zoom out so you can see everything that's going on. So this is the game setup here, and I'm going to place, I guess I'm going to place it like this so you can still see the events a little bit. So I set up the game. This is my deck. These are my starting cards, my fields here. This is the symbol for a field, the pumpkin, and they have a different colored back but the same picture on them. I also get those resources, so I get 2 sheep, 2 wood and a fish, and I also start with 5 workers. At the base game it also works differently than in Imperial Settlers, believe you me. This is really a different game, but I like it quite a bit. So let's do this. So what else did I do? I have a scoreboard that it's just out of the picture, so with my color token on the 0 spot, of course, and above the, it should be 1, let's change that, above the 1, that's another one that I took as a round marker. So round 1, I'm going to have 4 rounds to score 40 points. Also, we have this board here, which allows us to go and conquer or pillage nearby or distant islands. There are always 2 of each showing. And we have the worker placement rondel, which is also set up randomly. So you have 5 actions. You will see them as they happen. And my screen is getting very crooked now. All right, this is better. I also have, well, I should have to use a cup, of course, from Portal Games. And this has 5 tokens numbered 1 to 5. These will determine the events. If you want, you could use a D6, I guess, and roll a die, and if you roll a 6, re-roll it to see a result from 1 to 5. But hey, I'm using this for now. Okay, so let's get ready to rumble. We're already 5 minutes in, So without further ado, let's play some game. So first, at the beginning of the game, and that's also the same in the multiplayer, you draw 4 cards from your draw pile and you get to keep 2 of these, and the other 2 you have to discard. So let's see what we have. And you can already see that there are different kinds of things. You have Explore to Play and a red flag. This is a boost card, which is kind of an instant card. So if I explore, I can play this card for free and do whatever it says, and it will go to the discard pile. For these I have to pay as normal, and this is a type of card. You will see different types of cards, as you can see. Now, the clan that I'm playing is, well, they're actually the Drunken Dwarfs. So I had to play this, of course, in the video. So I have a skinny port here that's let me sail with spending sheep, so that's important. Also, it lets me release 1 worker, because sometimes I have to assign workers. Normally you spend them, and if you spend workers, they go on this card, and next round you'll get them back. But this time, I have to spend them, which thematically means I sent them to do the job, and they get drunk, and so I have to get them back. This is a great card to have, of course, so I can get them back. Let's see, and this gives me, well, assign 1 worker to gain, so he becomes drunk, to gain either a food for each one of the buildings with this symbol, which I have 2 in my hand here, or 1 food for each of these buildings in my empire. So that might be interesting, because I don't have food to start with, and food might be important. But then I lose these free stuff here. Oh, I'm still going to do it. So then I also have to figure out a way to build this, but there are ways. So I'll discard the other 2 cards, and now we start the game for real. So I'm going to go to the first phase, which is the lookout phase. And you might, if you played Imperial Settlers, you might know that word. In the lookout phase Imperial Settlers, you were going to draft some cards in your hand. This time it works a little bit different, folks. So what each player, and also in the solo game, what you're going to do is draw 4 cards. You separate them from the one you already have in your hand, and you can take as many cards from these 4 in your hand as you wish, but for each one that you take, you'll have to spend a worker that you will not be able to use that round, of course, because it's spent already. So yeah, let's see. All right, so we have again an action building that allows us to spend sheep to gain gold, which is wild, and to release a worker. The after party, assign 1, so 1 has to go drunk, to unexhaust an action space, a card in my empire, which is pretty neat, because now you'll have to, if you use a card, instead of just putting the resource on it, you spend everything you need, you put it back in a supply or on your spent worker spot, and you exhaust the cards this time. And so this allows you to, well, use it again. Alright, so what else do we have? Spend to build Northern Festival, action assign 2. Wow, a lot of drunken folks, but to gain 2 points, and you get an axe as a building bonus. Not too bad, honestly, but hey, this is also something new. So this is a building that I can attach to my grassland, so it becomes stronger. When I build it, I immediately gain this. When I harvest, which I will do later in the game, I will get 3 sheep, of course, because it will add together. Also, harvest to build means if I do the harvest action, which allows me to harvest one of my fields, I can build this for free. Oh, so choices. So I might, this is a good one though, but oh man, how many workers do I want to spend already? Let's see, I've got 5 of them. I could get more, but it will cost me actions. So, oh man, I think, yeah, 1, 2, I need at least 2 to do what I want. Oh, I could spend 3 or 4, so I get a lot of cards, but I cannot build all of them, that's for sure. So let's see. Oh, but this one is great as well. And I need points. Points are very important. But I think I'm going to let this one go for now. I hope this one not bite me in the butt later. So I have to spend 3 of my workers. There they go. So I cannot use those. So I can keep 3 cards. Alright, that's it. Lookout phase is done. And now we go to a phase that's added in the solo play. We'll have an event. So at the end of the lookout phase, you'll have the event. So what's going to happen in the first round? It is number 3, which means, let's read here, old guardhouse site. Okay, they get 1 axe and 1 card. So I get to draw a free card. That's pretty cool. A sacred obelisk. Spend 2 fish, food, stone in any combination to gain 2. Oh, that's not too bad. Nice. Okay, but we need stone again to build and a lot of resources. So let's see what we can do this round. So now we go to the action phase. I must remember that I can only build 5 buildings at this moment. So we'll see what that gives. Okay, so what can I do as actions? Well, I can do quite a bit. So I can play cards, right? That has a spend to build. That's doing action. If I have built some buildings, I can do the action and do whatever it says as an action. I can also, and that's something new, I can use one of my 2 workers here that I have, these pawns, and I can assign them to any of these 5 actions. And let's zoom in a little bit. So what are these actions? So I can go, oh, and this tripod is really busted. I can go and construct, which let me build a card for a location for free without paying its cost. Pretty cool. I can harvest, because there is no production phase anymore, so I can harvest one of my fields to get the resources of that field. I can explore to draw a card. I can populate, which adds a worker to my resource pool of workers, and they stay there for the rest of the game, so I get more options to do my cards. And I can sail, and that means I can put one of my ships, use one of my ships to go sailing and conquering and pillaging and all that jazz. All right. Now, the special thing about the solo variant is at the end of a game, of a round, wherever there's a worker of mine, I'll have to flip that action, and next round or rounds, it might become more expensive. I might have to pay sheep to harvest. Now, every action that is turned like this and without a pawn there at the end of a round will be turned back to this normal state. All right. Now, these action pawns can be used twice if I have apples. If you spend an apple, you can turn this marker around and put it at an adjacent action spot, and you can do that action. But you can only do that once for each pawn, because the excess, no more. You've pushed me too far already. So that's also something you can do. All right, so let's zoom back out. Let's go back to the table. And of course, I messed up the camera a little bit with this, but that's not too bad. We'll fix that. Whoop, there we go. So first round, and I'll do that first round, and then I guess we'll end it and do the rest in a later video, because it's going to be long. Maybe I do 2 rounds. We'll see. I only have to play 4 rounds, so we'll see. So yeah. This might be too early, because I need a lot of resources for that, so maybe I want to build another engine first. This costs me a lot of wood. I do have wood. I do have 2 wood, so I might want to have that to go sailing, and go sailing might give me stone that I need, or might give me cards that give me, score me 1 point at the end of the game. These cards, if you go conquer them, they come into your tableau. But you also have a building bonus, so that's also pretty cool. I do have an axe that I have to use for it, but each time I explore, I can spend an axe to get a building site extra, so I might want to wait with spending that axe. So let's see what things are there to pillage and conquer. So there are nearby islands and faraway islands, distant islands. If you want to go to a nearby island and just want to pillage it, so the left side, which gives you only resources and a point, you just send your ship, all right? If you want to conquer it in a nearby island, you send your ship and an axe. If you want to pillage a distant island, you'll have to send a ship with a fish to feed your crew. If you want to conquer a distant island, you have to send your ship with a fish and an axe. So yeah, what do I want to do? Let's see. It's a difficult one. I think I might want to go sailing, and I could use this card for it as well. So I might want to spend my first wood to get that what I need. So I'm going to spend 2 wood to build the skinny port, which is my first location, an action location. So I have to build it on top of these building sites. All right, so that's that, done. All right, next is I could spend 1 and go sailing, but I'm going to wait with that because I need stone already. Yeah, that's why I'm going to use my action pawn here and put it on the construct action. Construct action, let me build a card for free. I'm going to construct the brewery, which gives me, which normally costs me stone, but now I can build it for free. All right, perfect. Now I've got 2 buildings with that monolith symbol here. If I wanted, I could build this one as well to make the brewery stronger, the action, but I think I'm going to wait because I need to do other stuff for the future, I think. I really want to harvest so I can build this for free, which gives me another sheep. And this one is also very, very interesting. So I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to use my next pawn here. Yeah, to harvest. I'm going to harvest, and I'm going to harvest 2 woods. So when harvesting, you choose one of your fields and you gain the resources of that field. That's it. Again, no more production phase. You'll have to harvest your stuff. I'm going to spend those 2 hard-earned wood to build a market. So there we go, a market, which lets me give me the action to spend a sheep to gain a gold and release 1 assigned worker. So that might be a little bit overkill with those 2, but it might be interesting for later when I also build this one here. That's a very interesting one as well, especially with my sheep here. So yes, what else? Oh, so I forgot. So when harvesting here, I now am allowed to build this as a free action. Harvest, I did. To build, I will. So I forgot that, but hey, there we go. So I also get that sheep. There we go. And if I harvest this now, it will give me 3 sheep. Perfect. So a lot of sheep, which is, well, pretty good. So let's see what I can still do. I need apples. So I'm going to assign this worker here to this building here, to the brewery. Of course, to the brewery. So I'm going to exhaust him like this, not too much. So this one is used, this one is assigned to it. So this fellow here went to the brewery to gain either 1 apple for each of my monolith buildings here, or 1 fish for each of these ones that I don't have yet. So I'm going to choose the apples, of course. So I get 2 because I get 2 of these buildings, but now he went to the brewery, he stayed there, he's drunk. I'll have to get him back, which is not too big of a deal because, well, I have some cards that allow me to release them, right? So let's see. 2 cards left. I don't think I'm going to build these, although I could. Action. Oh, this is not too bad. So I'm going to maybe I should harvest some more. Will cost me an apple, but it might be worth it. Yeah, let's harvest some more wood. Or get that gold here. Now gold is worth 1 point at the end of the game, and each 2 resources are worth 1 point at the end of the game. So gold is an important resource also to keep, but I might want to forgo the harvesting so it doesn't become too expensive. Let me see what the explorer will cost me. It will cost me food. So I don't want to end on an explore spot because I don't want to spend food to. So I want to move maybe. Oh, why not? So I should have done it differently. I should have spent the apple to go construct and build these, but I'm going to do it differently. So I'm going to spend an apple to go to the construct, and let me see how expensive this will get. Oh, stone, that's also not good. So construct, build 1 for free. I'm going to build the after party, which is also already my 4th action building, folks. So that's not very good. And yeah, that's it. I built that for free. That's pretty cool. So I will now spend 1 sheep. I'm going to spend the sheep to gain a gold. Awesome. And release 1 worker. All right, the drunken guy is back, and I got some gold. Perfect. Awesome. Great. Next, I'm going to use this guy who just got over his hangover, and I'm going to assign him to unexhaust any card in my empire. Yeah. And I'm going to do this one here, the brewery, because I'm going to do that again. So I'm going to assign this guy to gain again 2 more apples, because apples are so important for those workers there. And I don't have any dudes anymore. Oh, I did it in the wrong. I should have done something else, but hey, I did it, so let's keep it that way. I needed to populate as well, maybe to get another extra worker, because I wanted this one. So I guess I will have to spend an apple to say to this worker, go to an adjacent action spot, and I'm going to put him on the sail spot, which allows me to put a ship on the expedition board. And this is the moment where I have to decide, where am I going to a nearby island or a distant island? And am I going to conquer it? Pillage it or conquer it? Wow, that's a difficult choice here. Yeah. This one gives me another ship, but I'm not sure if I want to focus on sailing. So I think I'm not going to conquer that. Wow. I'm not going to spend anything yet, so I'm going to go pillage a nearby island. That's what I'm going to do. But as you can see, it doesn't happen immediately. This will happen in another phase. Okay, so I've spent all my workers. I still have a bunch of resources left, which is, in this case, not too bad. Because in Imperial Settlers, at the end of your round, you lost everything you didn't use except for one thing, depending on your faction. In this game, you get to keep everything you still have, but you don't have a production phase. Okay, so that's it. Yeah, that's it. I think that ends my first round. And so after a round, I could have done the yeah, this one here assigned, but that's worth points, but then I lose people. So I'm not going to do that. I think I'm just going to to the next phase. So I'm ending my actions, and then we go to this board here. We're going to see what I did with my ship. I'm going to pillage this one here, which doesn't cost me anything besides the go sailing, and I'm getting 2 stones and a point, and this card gets discarded. So 1 point. 39 to go, 3 rounds left. So everything will go back to its unexhausted state. I get only 1 building site left. The cards that I didn't pillage or conquered, they go away. My sheep comes back as well, of course. My spent workers, they come back. My assigned ones, they are still there. I get my 2 workers pawns here. They come back. Oh, and I almost forgot. I was at a sailing spot, so it will cost me a fish if I want to do the sail action. And it will cost me a stone to construct. There we go, so that's more expensive. And that ends my first round. I don't think I'm doing very well, but I hope to build an engine that gives me points at the end of the game. So we will see. I still have this one here, so if I get enough resources, I can start generating points here. Maybe with the card that allows me to unexhaust cards. So I get, this can score me 4 points, but I need a lot of resources, as you can see. But we might get that solved. Alright folks, this was part 1 of this playthrough. Yeah, it had the setup, introduction and all that jazz with it, a lot of rules explanations as well. But next time I'm going to continue this playthrough. If you're interested, go and watch part 2 of this playthrough. I hope you liked the first part, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you for watching, and see you soon in the Empires of the North. Bye bye.